Whenever you're ready.
Did you start it?
Yep.
Okay. It's PJ Rubel with Rubel Roasting. I'm here today to just show you pour over and give you some ideas of how you'd like to make your own coffee. So a typical setup, you'll have your scale. You always want to scale. It just helps you keep consistent. A grinder isn't required, but I highly recommend it just due to maximum freshness for the coffee beans. And then you'll need a water boiler as well. And then just your favorite coffee mug, a pour over cone if you're looking for pour over, or whatever else if you're using Fresh Press or Chemex, and then your filter for the cone. All right. So you start with your boiled water. Boiled's fine. If you want it around 200 to 205, that's fine as well. That's a little bit better just because it doesn't sear the coffee beans. So I already have it warmed to 200. From here, I have my scale inside my grinder just because it's a little fancy, but that's why we have the scale underneath the coffee cup. So if you have to weigh it from a coffee grinder that doesn't have a scale in it, then you can do that with your scale here. So I'm just gonna show you as if I don't have a scale in my grinder. So I'm just gonna grind it here. And then a little fun fact about the grinders, most of their grinders, especially your burr grinders, will have a measurement of your coffee bean and how fine it grinds. So the finer is the more like grainy and small the coffee beans will be ground into, and the coarse is a little bit thicker like rocks. Over here you can just ignore that. That's just more of a decimal to the grinds. You're usually going to get a scale from 1 to 10 or 1 to 8. For your coffee grinder. So for pour over, drip machines, Chemex, stuff like that, you'll be around the 3 to 4 or on the lower end of the halfway mark. All right. From here, I now have my coffee beans, but when I'm doing pour overs or Chemexes, what I like to do is I like to take the hot water and I'll run it into the filter just to kind of wash out any paper flavors inside the filter, anything like that. And it also helps me kind of form the filter to the sides of the cone. All right, that way I just have a little more control. I won't pour any water over the ledges here. It just keeps it a little bit cleaner and neater. All right, once the water goes through there, I'm just gonna take this off, rinse out the hot water. What it also does is kind of warm up the inside of your cup. That way you have a nice warm cup of coffee. It doesn't get too cold. Put this back on. And then what I'm gonna do, say I don't have my scale on my grinder like I do here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on my scale. I'm gonna tear it out with everything on it besides the coffee grounds inside the cone. All right, so now I have everything that I need here besides the coffee grounds. From here, I'll measure my ratios of coffee that I need for my cup. So what I like to do is I use 15 to 1 ratio. What that means is I have 15 grams of water to 1 gram of coffee. All right, so for this cup here, I have 24 grams of coffee. So that means I'm gonna need 240. I'll need 360 grams of water for this cup. All right, and that's just a 15 to 1 ratio. That's the way I like my coffee. It's a little bit on the stronger side. All right, no one's gonna be the same. So you can work your way up if you like it a little bit lighter. So you can go 16 to 1, 17 to 1, anything like that's fine. Same thing with Chemex, same thing with French press. With the French press, you're gonna be on the more coarse side. So you're gonna need a little stronger ratio just because the water's gonna be sitting in it for longer. It's more of a saturation type style. So you'll be on the more coarse side, above half. And you'll probably be anywhere from, 10 to 1, anywhere around that, 2 plus, 2 negative from 10 to 1. And that's just depending on how you like your coffee, all right? So from here, I have my 24 grams of coffee inside the cup. I have it here measured. So I'm gonna make sure I tear this. So I'm starting at 0. And that way, when I pour in my coffee, I'm now trying to hit the 360 mark on those grams right there, all right? So I'm all zeroed out. I'm gonna level this out just so I can pour consistently. And your first pour, you're gonna get this bloom where the gases from the freshly roasted coffee are gonna release from that coffee bean that you just ground. All right, so from here, I'm gonna do a nice slow pour so I don't drown the beans. And I'm just gonna try to slowly cover all the coffee grounds inside my filter. You see the gases start to release because that little bloom is starting to happen, that's expanding. And those are just the gases from those fresh beans releasing. From here, I just did a little pour. I'm gonna let it saturate, let it sit in there. This is about a 20 to 30 second process here. You're just gonna let those beans absorb that water, that hot water, and help get those coffee juices out of those ground beans, all right? I'm just sitting here, but what I don't want to do is let it sit for too long. I don't want this to dry out. I want the coffee to stay saturated and stay in a little bit body of water. So now that I'm losing a little bit of water, I'm going to start slowly just adding it now. Not too fast. I don't want to drown it, all right, but I also don't want it to dry out. So I'm doing a nice steady pour on it. Nice and easy. I'll stop here. I don't want too much. And then I'm at 300 now, so I'll probably do one more pour before I finish my pour. And then from there, you're pretty much done, all right? You can take a wooden spoon and stir it to get any air pockets out of this coffee, out of the pour. That'll just help strengthen the coffee and make sure that you're not losing any of the coffee grounds that you put in there, all right? Now I'm gonna finish my last pour. I'm gonna try to hit that 360 right on the mark. And just know it doesn't have to be perfect. The coffee grounds are absorbing a little bit of the water, so not all 360 grams of water is going to be going into the cup. So just know that if you are going to pour, it's okay to pour a little over. And so this is a 15-ounce cup of coffee, so it fills up to 15 ounces. So what I did is I did about a 14-ounce pour, all right? And just know, if you need to figure out beforehand, all you have to do is take your cup, tear it out on the scale, zero it out, and just pour water into where you like your coffee, and that'll give you how much water you're going to be pouring into your cup. Just divide that by your ratio that you want. Divided by 15 to 1 is like what I like, and that'll help you figure out what you need for your cup of coffee or your thermos or anything like that. That way you know you can fill it to a certain point for yourself. All right, so we're about getting dried out. All the water is almost finished siphoning through these coffee beans. So we're at the bottom of that, all right? And when I'm doing my pour pattern, what I like to do is I like to do circular because it's getting deeper in the middle, so the outsides kind of stick some of the coffee grounds to it. So what I do is I pour on the outside majority and then spiral into the middle. That way I can kind of keep the coffee grounds lower in the water so they stay longer saturated. So we're almost done. I'll just show you where we're at in the coffee mug. So I drink it with a little bit of heavy whipping cream and some coconut oil and grass-fed butter. So a little bit of bulletproof with some heavy cream to it. It's just a little style I came up with, just playing off the bulletproof coffee. So I leave just a little bit of room so I can pour my 1 ounce of heavy creamer into it, and then I have my nice cup of coffee. So from here, I'm all dried out pretty much, and then I'll go ahead, take my filter. It might get a little drippy, but then I'll just go and throw it away. Clean up so you don't get in trouble. And we got our cup of coffee here. And just like I said earlier, Chemex, French press, anything like that, just make sure you're measuring it. Scale's gonna be your best friend. Grinder is just gonna help you maximize your freshness. What we do here at Rubel Roasting is we roast our coffee to order. That helps keep those gases in the bean, so it helps keep it fresh. And that was where we kind of started our business off of, was fresh coffee. And that's why the grinder is really important to us, because it helps keep the freshness and the taste and the smell. And it helps accentuate our coffee even more, all right? So even if you don't have Rubel Roast, whatever coffee you have, make sure you get it whole bean, and make sure you get a grinder if you're looking to maximize the freshness. And then to further your cup of coffee in the morning, to work or anything like that, make sure you're keeping it consistent, all right? You can always change your coffee. You can always manipulate your scale, your ratio, whether it's fine or whether it's your 15 to 1, 16 to 1. You can always change that to make it how you want it, all right? No one is gonna like the coffee the same way, all right? So choose what you like, enjoy it the way you like it, and don't let anyone tell you different, because the strength of the coffee is how you make it. It's not in how it's roasted. All right, enjoy, guys. Let us know if you have any questions. Hit us up on Rubel Roasting Instagram, Rubel Roasting Facebook, and RubelRoasting.com. Rubel is spelled R-U-B-E-L, roasting.com. Thanks for stopping by, and have a good day.